what came up a lot was the word insecure. When your guy is talking to a lot of women, that it makes you feel a certain way, that you are not ready to love.
I am very disappointed and also conflicted with the decision that was made by the guys of who they felt wasn't ready to love. Do I think Shannon deserves to be in the bottom? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Because she has more or less made it known that she belonged on the same WhatsApp group as Christina, in the sense that they're after what a guy can provide for them and they're out here to be living their best lives. So it comes across as though they're on the show just for their opportunities to become an influencer. Do I think Nicole should have gone home? No. I blame Ed for that, because had Ed had his head screwed on straight, he should have stayed on and continued to explore this thing with Nicole. But because he wasn't sort of 100% sure about how he felt about her, this is how the people were able to get her out. Do I think other people should have championed for Nicole? Yes, I think Vince and Devon should have championed for Nicole, because at the end of the day, all their other connections are not it. So I am pleasantly surprised that none of the guys were sort of championing for Nicole. Yes, she was her own worst enemy with the comments she made about not being open to her guy exploring other girls, but still, I don't think she deserves to be sent home. I think there are other people that could have gone home before her. Anyway, I digress. Hey there, thanks for stopping by to go, Valerie. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, click the like button, turn on the notification bell for when I upload new videos, and definitely leave a comment. In this episode, I'll be reviewing Ready to Love, Season 11, Episode 7. So we have the guys meet up with Tommy because they are in power this week, and they are meet up with Tommy to be given their task, and the task is for them to introduce, their current connections to their exes. And it's like, this is going to be messy. I think the exes are going to try not be as toxic because they don't want the backlash from the viewers. And I think a lot of people, having seen sort of how reality stars can be attacked by fans, are now trying to be on the best behavior. First up, we had Caddy. He had a day, his ex, meet up with Dom, Shannon, and Ashanti. It seems these girls were very popular, especially Dom and Shannon. I don't get whether they were popular because people like them, or whether production was trying to put them in every scene. So you had Day, as soon as Dom came out, say, you look like you're high maintenance. I think she is. I think she is. She might say no, but I think she is. Because she's dated people with money, and so she's got certain expectations that she has for the guy that she's going to see. And so I don't know how this comes across, whether the guys actually see that or whether they're open to the challenge. The fact that you had Day, the ex, tell, Dom that Cardi has a lot of money, for me was a bit off-putting. Why? Because every gold digger out there is going to be inboxing him because now they know he's got money. So I don't think that was the right thing to do or say, but then I might be conflicted. Ashanti was asked, how do you feel about this man? First off, Shannon spoke about her education and stuff, and that's all she's got to go with at the moment. It seems she's always championing herself and the fact that she's a professional student. With Ashanti, she was asked, how do you feel about Cardi? And she said, he's my boy. And so she was called out for that you can't be saying he's your boy. It's either he's your man, there's something romantic that you want to explore, or he's not. You can't be calling him your homie or your mate, because that's not it. So for Ashanti to be upset, to say, oh, why didn't Cardi stand up for me when his ex was attacking me? And it's like, you could have spoken up for yourself, girl. You could have spoken up for yourself. You made that statement. You should have defended your statement and what you meant. You shouldn't have waited until you sat down with Bello to explain exactly what you meant. Do I think the friend was correct, the ex was correct to say that Dom is more it? I don't think either one of the girls was it for Cardi. I think Cardi is a sweet guy, and I think he should have been with somebody just as sweet. Maybe either Shannon or Nicole would have been best for him. Cardi then sat down with his ex once the girls had left, and he was told that I feel like Dom is your person. Everybody else, I don't think they're it. I feel like, Ashanti should go just because she's calling you your homie. She's not claiming you as her man, which is the truth, though. If she's not claiming him, that means she's friend-zoned him, and she's just keeping him in the running so that she can stay on the show, as far as I'm concerned. Next up, we had Bello. Bello met up with his ex. I think her name was Tara. So he brought Dom and Ashanti. Am I surprised? No. Because we all know he's got a very strong connection with Dom. Ashanti, I think, was just there for the numbers because he just didn't want, one person to come. There was a lot of conversation about PDA. for Dom to say, I want a guy who's into PDA, and then find out that Bello is not into it. Every time we've seen Bello and Dom, they've wanted to make out. So the idea that he's saying he's not into PDA, I am not buying it. He must be doing it because somebody out there, he's worried if they say him, they're not going to feel alright about him. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense. With Ashanti, he said they had a connection, but they hadn't sort of delved deep into it. So during this conversation, they found out they read the same books. Shanti was asked by the ex that why is it taking you too long to open up, and so I think that's something that Bello should have sort of questioned, that is it really a connection as in a romantic connection, or is it a friendship connection? I think it's a friendship connection. Just because we read the same books doesn't mean that we are each other's person. So I didn't quite get why he felt he wanted to get to know her. Obviously Tara was more on Dom's side. When Dom left, you had Bello walk her out and give her a kiss, and the camera was right in their face, and it's like, seriously, can't we take a step back and just give them personal space? It seems like you're forcing them to kiss, or you want us to see exactly what they're doing. It's not necessary. So Darius met with his ex and Ashley and Nicole. That was a bit of a funny sort of chat there, because you had them sort of discuss the insecurities that Nicole had, and then with Ashley, she said, he wants a confident person. He wants someone who, when he steps into a room, he doesn't need to worry about her. And so, do I think Darius was it for Nicole? I don't think so. I think Nicole was pushed there by production more or less than anything else. I don't think there's a romantic connection there. Darius, with the way he came in, I think he expected to have more girls falling at his feet. And so the idea and the audacity that they're not is something that he wasn't expecting. We then had Vince. Vince brought his ex, Bonnie. Bonnie met with Donna, Nicole, and Ashanti. For me, I thought Vince's strongest connection would have been with, what's her name, Nicole. So I was pleasantly surprised when he said it was Dom. I think he likes the fact that Dominic is a matter-of-fact type of person, and his only weakness, we found out, was the fact that he's very argumentative. He likes to be correct. And so if you're ready for that, which I think Dominic is going to be up to, I think with Nicole, he would have needed to handle her with kid gloves. And so I think this is why Dominic sort of came up as the strongest link. Yes, there was chat about Ashanti not having depth, and the fact that she said she still needs to go out. She was asked, what would you like to do in your downtime? And she said she wants to go out. And it's like, this girl is here for her opportunity to be an influencer, nothing else. Sadly, Nicole, I think, was a bit intimidated sitting in the groups. This is why she sort of sat back and wasn't noticed by the guys and their exes, which is really bad, because I thought she was a great connection. As you know, my favorites were Nicole and Donna, so I'm really sad about the Nicole situation. You had Steve meet with his ex, Amber. He met with Donna, Ashanti, and Lauren. Lauren, it seems she's the more mature of the girls. I think she's got her own kids as well. And so there was this chat about, what would you like to do in your spare time? She said she's very busy when she's out there. So when she comes home, she wants to chill and relax with her man, which is something that seems to be more along Steve's vibe. Ashanti said she still wants to go out. She still wants to have a great time. And then Donna said, she is looking for someone who's serious about her relationship, because she wants someone who's ready to move in. And she's ready to move in within 3 months. And it's like, girl, slow it down. Obviously, Steve's weakest point apparently was the fact that he is emotionally unavailable at times. Once the girls had left, you had Steve and Amber sit down, and Amber was worried that Donna's moving too fast, and also the fact that, Ashanti needs to put more effort. Do I think Ashanti has it within her? No. I think all the guys took Ashanti out because Ashanti's still struggling. She doesn't have a connection, and production are trying to keep her on the show, so they're trying to sort of look for someone who might like who she is, and at the moment it seems it's only Bello. And then the drama happened because Devon met with Kayla, his ex. He brought in Dom, Shannon, and Nicole, and sadly he brought presents for everyone, which didn't make it special. And it seemed he told the girls to wear a certain color because his bag sort of matched whatever they were wearing, whether he questioned what they were wearing or whatever. I think it shows he's more attentive. Yes, I worry about him sort of giving in and giving gifts to people, whether he lets his pocket sort of lead the way because of an insecurity, because we remember last time he's the only one who paid for Christina's massage. So that I question. Nicole was upset. She was upset because when she got the present, she thought she was special because she had come in first and she got to get the present, only to realize that he had a present for everybody else. That she didn't like. I didn't like how territorial she became. She should have had the this conversation away from everybody else with Devon, but she complained that she didn't like the fact that, he was having chats with other people. I get it that if you're in a relationship with someone, you might question, especially if you're someone who's insecure, you might question them exploring connections with other people, but it's barely 2 weeks, so she needs to take several seats. I think Nicole felt like she was drowning. She felt she didn't have a sort of a connection set in stone, and this is why she was worrying about what he was saying to the other girls. So after the girls left, you then had Devon sit down with Kayla, and Kayla was saying, Shannon is very caring. I think she liked the fact that Shannon said, I'm a registered nurse. Dominic, I think because she felt some type of way, had spoken about the fact that Devon sent her flowers, and because of that, some of the other girls felt a type of way. And it's like, Devon needs to put his pocket back. He needs to put his hand back in his pocket and actually get to know these ladies without getting them gifts or without, succumbing to whatever their wants and needs are. Nicole apparently, there was a question that she wants to be the chosen one. She wants to be the girl that gets the guy at the end of the day because of the fact that she said she wasn't comfortable with her guy speaking to anybody else. She didn't want to share the guy with anyone else. And it's like, I don't know. It's really going to be very sad when, she realizes or she watches herself and sees how she comes across. Anyway, the guys then met up with Tommy in the lounge and they were asked how their dates went. Bello said his ex loved Dom, and his ex encouraged him to get to know Ashanti more. And it's like, those are his two connections. He's the Cameron of this season. He's going to get what he wants, when he wants it, and how he wants it. That's the impression that I get. Devon said, Shannon was his best match. Dom was strong, or he also sees her as the strongest connection. Vincent said, he and Donna have inside jokes. Cardi said he really likes Donna. Darius said, Ashley is his strongest link and she's more aligned with him. Do I think so? No, I think he's just looking for someone. Steve said he loves Lauren. And then the guys were asked to sort of question who they didn't like or who they had concerns about. The guy said, with Ashanti, she's still going out. She clashed with Cardi's ex. And so there was that worry that what will happen if she continues in the experiment. Is she ready for love or is she just there for a good time? I think she's there for a good time. Sadly for Nicole, her insecurities and the fact that she wasn't comfortable with her partner speaking to anybody else is the reason why she was in the bottom. So these two girls were the girls put in the bottom. I'm surprised we didn't get to hear or see Vince speak up for Nicole because I thought they had a good thing going. Anyway, the guys were then told by Tommy that you need to choose who you feel is not ready to love. Because of that, you had Bello meet up with Ashanti and Vince was the one who met up with Nicole. I think Vince was the best person to meet up with Nicole, given that the main concerns had come from Devon. I think had there not been any issues with Devon, Devon would have been the best person. So I love that he was very gentle and delicate and handled it with kid gloves and sort of explained to her that the guy's concern is the fact that you're not willing to share. You're not willing to sort of go through this process and understand that your partner or your connection might be exploring with somebody else. So that was a concern to the guys. And this is why they felt she wasn't ready to love. Do I think she should have been the one to go home? No. I think all the other girls could have gone home and she should have stayed. She should have found her person. But maybe her person is not here and maybe seeing each other back in this experience will open up Ed's eyes. Do I think she deserves someone like Vince? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I think Vince is the type of person who would be able to sort of... I think she brings out the delicate side of him. I think she brings out the empathy, the caring, the more serious side. He's not jokey as he is with everybody else. So I'm sad that she had to go home. With Bello, he explained to Ashanti that the guys were concerned about her still wanting to go out and, they feel they're at different stages within life. I expected her to be the one to go home because I don't think Ashanti is there for the right reasons. I think either she knows someone on production who's making sure that she stays or she's just managing to sort of swindle the guys and make them think that she's very interested when they're not. And I wouldn't be surprised in the next dumping if she is the one who's dumped. I'm willing to bet money on it because it's either her or Shannon. One of them is going to be dumped. That's the opinion that I get. Unless Vincent sent home, then Dom will go home. I'm pleasantly surprised Donna wasn't in the bottom. So I can't wait to see what happens. Anyway, thanks guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Click on the link in my video to watch my review from episode 6. Bye everyone.